Hello and welcome back to Wireman's Whimsy. I am doing something new and different today, and bear with me while I get used to the process. I was doing Wednesdays, I do a scrapbook layout. And the last few weeks, I've really struggled to do the scrapbook layout because scrapbooking is amazing. I love scrapbooks. I used to scrapbook for years, probably about 20 years, and then COVID hit, we weren't taking many pictures, and I kind of fell out of the habit. It was really have value in the scrapbooks. My boys are grown, and we often pull one out and go through, and we laugh at the pictures and that. So scrapbooking is near and dear to my heart. I just don't really have kind of a use for it right now. But what is speaking to me is junk journaling. It is hugely speaking to me. I love it. I use it to express myself. So instead of doing a scrapbook layout on a Wednesday, I'm going to build myself a junk journal. I have got tons of pictures that I've screenshotted off Facebook or Instagram, little sayings that mean something to me, and I am actually at a real turning point in my life right now. I am no longer working, not by my choice, but it is very freeing to suddenly have this time. I am, again, very fortunate to be at a position in my life where losing my job is not the end of the world. In fact, it's the beginning of a brand new world for me. So there's lots of things that are bubbling around in my head, and I am so excited to be able to work through them, have the space and the time. And although we're in third winter, warmer weather is coming, and I just feel so free and so energized and so bright. And this saying really spoke to me. I think I got it from Facebook. But what if I fall? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly? So I am going to use this as the cover for my junk journal. And I'm going to show you a couple of things that I'm using that are completely Stampin' Up. The only product that I'm going to be using that is not Stampin' Up is my digital downloads. And so my book is going to be smaller. It is going to be about 4.5 by 6. And this is the cardboard from the paper pumpkin kits. So I've taken the cardboard and I've cut it in half. And I guess the first thing I should have done is warned you this is going to be a long video. Trying my hand at long form video. So basically I cut the cardboard paper insert, or paper pumpkin cardboard insert, in half at 4.5. You need to trim it down to 6. And the only reason I trimmed it down is because I've got a bunch of samples of the Season of Elegance Specialty Designer Series paper, which was in one of, I believe it was in the fall mini, and it is coming back in the 2025 to 2026 catalog. So I am going to use that for my front and my back. I created a template to do the holes, and it's 3/8 of an inch from the edge, 1 inch from each edge, and then at 2. So we've got 1 inch from the bottom, 2 inches to the middle, then 2 inches to the top one, which is 1 inch from the top of the cardboard. So I've got that done. I'm using the Season of Elegance Specialty Designer Series paper, and I'm going to use the Thoughtful Journey paper as the inside cover, and I'm going to do the front and the back covers on this video today. And again, please bear with me as I work through this because I haven't built this yet. I'm building it on the fly. So yes, so we've got the Season of Elegance Designer Series paper, the Thoughtful Journey Designer Series paper, the paper pumpkin card insert cut in half, and my favorite digital download. I am going to use these 2 stamps from the Mixed Florals, and I'm not going to have a greeting on this because this is my greeting and this is the front cover. And these are some gems that were left over from a paper pumpkin kit, and I think they are going to be fabulous on the front of the journal. So I am going to just work through this. I've also taken this die from the Mixed Florals dies, and I've cut it out of basic beige, and I've just trimmed this piece off because this is so big. It's going to take up most of the front cover, but I wanted to have just a little bit on the side. I also have a piece of the tissue from one of the paper pumpkin kits, and I've got a piece of petal pink scallop edge ribbon. So I'm going to be putting these things together. There's going to be lots of blending. I'm using gray granite and pebbled path, and I'll also be using petal pink because I think this really kind of lends itself to the petal pink. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my paper to my cardboard here. So I'm just going to put adhesive all around the edge because this is the cover and I want it to really hold fast. You can use glue if you want. I've used glue, I've used the adhesive. It's kind of 6 of one, a half a dozen of the other, depending on what elements you're gluing down. Now, this is the gold side. I thought that was a little flashy for the front cover. I'm going to use it for the back cover though. But I want specifically this piece of gray in here. So I'm just going to line this up along the edge like that and press it down. Now you can use your paper trimmer or you can use scissors to trim this off. I'm just going to use scissors just to trim this down. You can cut it to size if you want. I find that sometimes the paper isn't the same size or your cardboard isn't the same size. So it just takes a little bit to straighten it all up. So there is my front cover, and if the edges are a little rough, it's fine. It absolutely is fine. Now I'm going to take some ink and I'm just going to smoosh the ink around. And so this is my gray granite, and I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to kind of gray up the surface a little bit, maybe even like adding a little bit of this in here. If you've already got paper pumpkin, if you've already got a bunch of junk journaling things like the Distress Oxide inks and the little smooshy brushes, you can absolutely use those. But I wanted to show that you can absolutely use your Stampin' Up! Products that you already have on your shelf without investing a lot to do your junk journaling. I'm just adding a little bit of gray to the corner of this. Okay, so I'm going to take some pebbled path and I'm going to add some pebbled path. And I'm also going to add some pebbled path to my piece of basic beige that I have cut out. So let's just, I want to take some of that ink off. I don't want it to be quite that dark. So there we go. Just adding just those subtle touches in to kind of just add that little bit of a distressed look. And I'm just going to add a little bit just to kind of make this not quite so obvious that it's cardstock. So I am going to put this on here and I'm going to adhere it down. And I don't know if it matters to anybody, but I print on an Epsom Eco Tank. It's the Epsom 2400, I think. And I like it because I'm printing a lot. The tanks on it, the ink tanks last a really long time, and I really appreciate that. So I'm just going to add some gray. I'm using the gray granite just to kind of tone the pink down a little bit. I didn't have any petal pink pieces. And you can use the brush to smush the edge up too if you want. Just keep bringing the brush in and kind of working that edge just to make it a little bit junkier. And if you, you can always use your fingers as well. Just kind of, just smoosh that edge up. Just make it a little messy. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some adhesive just down the middle because I want to be able to tuck things underneath. And I'm okay that this is larger than the cover is. Okay. So this piece is now going to fit along this edge. We are not going to see a whole bunch of it, to be honest. And that's okay. The picture I have for the front is quite large, but I love it. So I'm going to work at decorating it as best as I can. And we're just going to tuck this in. Like that. So we don't even really see an awful lot of it. And then I'm going to take the ribbon, and I was going to take the ribbon and put it down the side, but I think I'm going to leave it off because it doesn't really match the pink of the tissue paper. And this is what happens. You work with it and you have an idea and you're like, oh yeah, so that's not going to work. I'm just going to add some petal pink though to the front of this, just bringing that little bit of color in like this. Okay. And I think that might be all I do as far as decorating the front. If you've got pieces of lace, you can put pieces of lace in. All I'm doing right now is I'm just tacking this down all the way to the edges. Oops. There we go. There we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, I just want to just see how this works. I'm going to take the stamp, I'm going to stamp it off. Second value, oh, second value is really good. Okay, so this is the pebbled path, and I'm just going to come in and I'm going to just second value it here like this. And just adding that little bit in. And because I'm stamping it after, it's going out onto the tissue as well. And that's fine. It makes it all look like kind of one unit. And I can come in with the flowers. Again, second value, and I'm going to stamp that right over there like that. There we go. I am really liking how this is coming together. Okay, so I think I'm done with the front, apart from putting the doodads on. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the inside of the front cover. Now this is really different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, again, pop it down, and then I'll trim this one side off. So again, putting adhesive all around the edges. You will go through a lot of adhesive, which is why some people prefer to use glue as opposed to the Stampin' Seal. So again, I'm going to just line this up in the corner and give it a press. And then I'm going to just trim this off. There we go. So then I've got this, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to dull the colors down a little bit with some of the pebbled path. I don't want to make it really dark. This journal kind of for me is about brightness and sunniness and kind of the new and the exciting and the possibilities. So I just want to add a little bit of color in there, like just to tone it down just a little bit because it is so different. That's also what I kind of like about this. I love the greeting here, but then you open it up, boom, something different. Really like that. So I'm going to do the back cover. And again, I'm going to use the gilded piece for this. And again, it's just adding the adhesive And I don't really know how I'm going to decorate the back cover yet. Haven't quite got that one worked out. So again, just lining this up along those two edges, and then I can trim it. And of course, you're saving the pieces that you're trimming off because you can use them later in the book. So I want this side up. So this is going to be the back. So then I'm going to add the adhesive in. And the nice thing about the Designer Series paper is if you wanted to have the same paper on both sides of your layout, and I'll show you that in just a minute, then you can absolutely have like a 2-page layout in your junk journal with the same paper. Okay, so we're going to pop that down. And the Thoughtful Journey paper is 6x6 already. The Season of Elegance is 12x12, but it was cut down into 6x6 because we did a paper sample thing, so everybody got kind of a quarter of the pack. So then when we open this up, again, just going to add some of that gray granite in here. You can see the difference the gray granite has added to this. So let's just add some of that color just around here. And that's pretty much all I'm going to do for this. So I've got the front of my book and the inside covers and the back cover. I want to show you how the template works though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up right along the edge, and I'm going to take my piercing tool and I'm going to just poke a hole in like that, and I'm going to do the same on the front. And it's okay that I have kind of decorated over where my holes will be, because I'm just going to punch right through. And I've got a crocodile from scrapbooking years ago that I used to punch the holes. And I'm going to punch fairly big holes because I don't know how I'm going to mount this. I could be using rings or twine. I'm just lining that piercing hole right through the middle of my crocodile. Okay, so I'm just lining it up right in the center. Move that over just a tad. There we go. And I have to keep picking the bits out so that I can see next time. And again, right in the middle like that. Okay, so we're just going to dig that out. And we'll do the same on the back. I've got my holes, and I am just lining that up perfectly in the middle. Like that. Oh, this is going to be, because of all the cardboard, it's a little bit stiffer. Now for the inside, I'm probably just going to use cardstock for the inside, decorate it up with Designer Series paper and the different sayings that I want. And I'll kind of do another set of 2 pages each week until my journal is built, and then we can decide what we're going to do after that. But I will do the pages with that week's stamp set so you can see how you can incorporate it for both. Okay, so then my front cover and my back cover line up, and you can see the holes through there. So now all I need to do is I need to add my bling. And as soon as I find what I did with my bling, I can do that. And when you junk journal, you make a huge mess and you lose things. So I have absolutely lost my bling for this one. Okay. There it is. It's hiding. So I'm just going to take this. I'm going to take my tool here, and this has got like really large or really small, and I'm going to put a couple of really large ones on because I really like these ones. And when you junk journal, you find that the tiniest scrap of something, the piece of packing paper or just the smallest piece. The leftover bling, or everything is absolutely usable, and you can start to see how you're going to use things. So there. So that is the front and back cover for my kind of Exploring Me junk journal. And again, I love this saying, what if I fall? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly? So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you stay with me through this Wednesday journey with my junk journaling. Let's create together again soon.